Beep, $1 for bread. Beep, $5 for bread. That sound. That's not a cash register. That's a trader in Amsterdam clicking a mouse. Right now, as you watch this, a farmer in Kansas is harvesting wheat that will make him lose money. Not because of bad weather, not because he's a bad farmer, because someone in a glass office 4,000 miles away sent price signals that changed his crop's value. This is the invisible market that feeds your family and decides who eats and who doesn't, even when the shelves look full. There's a country on earth that influences your grocery bill more than any farmer ever could. It's not America with its endless cornfields, not Brazil with its soybean oceans, not China with its rice paddies. It's a country smaller than West Virginia, a country with more bankers than farmers, more stock exchanges than grain silos. This country decides whether you pay $1 or $5 for your next meal. And here's the secret. They don't grow a single crop. They don't farm a single acre. They don't even touch the soil. For the next few minutes, I'll show you the magic trick, the greatest illusion in global economics. But first, I want you to guess. Look at the world map in your mind. Which country controls global food prices without growing food? Take 3 seconds. Think. Got an answer? Now, forget it, because the truth is more surprising than anything you imagined. And this is just the warm-up, because the real power comes after the trade. Follow the ships, giant cargo vessels crossing oceans from Brazil, soybeans, from Ukraine, wheat, from America, corn. They all sail to the same place, not to a hungry country, not to a poor country, to a port in Europe, the largest port in Europe. But here's what they don't tell you. Rotterdam isn't Europe's breadbasket. It's Europe's bank. The food doesn't get eaten here. It gets traded. Watch closely. Ship arrives with grain. The grain goes into storage, not for eating, for waiting. Then something happens. The same grain gets sold, bought again, sold again, traded 10 times before it reaches a bakery. Each trade adds profit. Each handshake adds cost. By the time that wheat becomes your bread, it's been bought and sold by people who've never seen wheat grow, never smelled soil, never met a farmer. They've just seen numbers on a screen. And those numbers influence your dinner price more than any harvest. Now, I'll give you the name. The country is the Netherlands. Yes, the land of tulips, windmills, and bicycles. Also, the land of this impossible fact. The Netherlands is the second largest food exporter on Earth. How? Here's the simple math even a child understands. The Netherlands imports $100 billion worth of food. The Netherlands exports $100 billion worth of food. They are the world's middleman, the ultimate grocery store that doesn't grow its own groceries. And once you see how this system was copied globally, you can't unsee it. Let me hit you with numbers that will rearrange your brain. Netherlands, agricultural land, 1.8 million hectares. United States agricultural land, 160 million hectares. The Netherlands is 90 times smaller in farmland. Netherlands population, 17 million. United States population, 331 million. The Netherlands has 5% of America's population, yet exports almost as much food. The math doesn't add up. Unless you understand, they're not exporting food. They're exporting contracts. They're exporting price influence. They're exporting market control. Why the Netherlands? Why this tiny country? History gives us perspective. 400 years ago, The Dutch helped invent modern capitalism. The first stock market in Amsterdam. The first company shares. The first futures contracts. The first speculative bubble. Tulip mania. People trading flower bulbs for the price of houses. The Dutch have had centuries to develop systems for trading things they don't own, things they don't grow, things they don't even touch. Today, they apply that expertise to food markets. Tulip mania in the 1600s, food mania in the 2000s. Similar psychology, different commodity. Let me introduce you to the modern market maker, not a farmer, not a producer, a trader. He works in Amsterdam. Office with glass walls overlooking canals. He arrives at 7 a.m. Coffee, computer, tea, free screens. On the left screen, weather forecasts, drought in Argentina, floods in Australia. On the middle screen, commodity prices, wheat, corn, soybeans. On the right screen, news, political unrest, trade wars, sanctions. He doesn't grow food, he analyzes information. And in today's world, information moves markets more than harvests. At 10:15 a.m., he gets data. Satellite imagery shows poor rainfall in Brazil's soybean region. He thinks about market opportunity. He clicks buy on soybean futures, not actual soybeans, promises of soybeans, paper soybeans. With that click, he just sent price signals that ripple through every soybean market on Earth, every animal feed, every cooking oil, every tofu product, all potentially affected by one click in Amsterdam. The Brazilian farmer, he won't know for months, but his market environment is already shifting. Now look to the other side of the world, to the Netherlands' Asian counterpart. Another tiny powerhouse, Singapore, an island city-state with zero farmland, zero agricultural production. Yet, Singapore influences 40% of the world's palm oil trade, 30% of the world's rubber trade, 25% of the world's rice futures. Singapore doesn't have a single rice paddy, but they have trading floors, algorithms, connections. They learned from European systems, but added Asian efficiency. Where European ports influence global food flows, Singapore influences Asian food pricing. Remember 2008, financial crisis, banks collapsing. But another crisis happened simultaneously, the food crisis. While CNN showed stock market charts, something was happening in global food markets. Wheat prices tripled, rice prices quadrupled. In 40 countries, people rioted for bread. 100 million people were pushed into hunger. Here's the uncomfortable data. While people starved, food trading desks made $200 billion in profit. Not growing food, not distributing food, trading food contracts, betting on price movements. The single most profitable year in food trading history happened during one of the worst global hunger crises in decades. That's market reality. And the worst part, that crisis taught trading systems exactly how to position for similar events. Today, it's even more systematic. Algorithms analyze hunger patterns. Artificial intelligence predicts droughts before farmers do. Machine learning models process satellite data, weather patterns, political trends. They don't predict to help farmers. They predict to position trades. When AI detects poor crop health in Russia, it adjusts wheat futures positions. When machine learning forecasts potential export restrictions, it hedges rice contracts. The trades happen in milliseconds, faster than human thought. The food is physical. The trading is digital. The hunger is human. At this point, you might be thinking, this sounds abstract, but it isn't. It shows up on your receipt. Every time you buy food, you're paying into this system. Now let's see how storage amplifies this power. Back to Rotterdam. Here's another layer. Rotterdam isn't just a port. It's one of the world's largest food storage facilities. 15 million tons of grain capacity. That's enough to feed Europe for months. This storage creates market power. When global prices are low, they can accumulate. When supply shocks hit major producers, they can release. They don't control the weather, but they have the power to delay or release supply when markets reward it. It's like having a valve on food flows. They influence when it opens, when it constricts. Now connect the dots. The same country that hosts major food trade also hosts seed companies. The world's largest seed company, Dutch-based. 25% of the world's vegetable seeds flow through Dutch companies. Consider this chain. Dutch-influenced companies sell seeds to farmers worldwide. Dutch trading desks then trade the crops those seeds might produce. Dutch ports can store and distribute those crops. They touch the beginning, middle, and potential end of the chain. And this is where farmers stop being producers in the traditional sense and start becoming contractors in a global system. Let me tell you about Miguel, Brazilian soybean farmer. Third generation, works from sunrise to sunset. His farm, 500 hectares. His yield, competitive. His technology, modern. Last year, good weather, good harvest, solid crop. He should be breaking even at least. Instead, he's struggling. Why? Because Amsterdam trading desks positioned for Chinese demand shifts. They adjusted soybean futures. Prices moved against farmers. Miguel's actual crop quality, less relevant than paper trades in Amsterdam. He grew food but harvested market pressure. This isn't exceptional. This is modern farming economics. The Netherlands presents itself as a sustainable food leader. Green energy, organic research, vertical farming, and there's truth there. But there's also this. The Netherlands is a major re-exporter of globally traded commodities, a significant trader of agriculture-linked products. They have advanced systems at home, complex connections abroad. The sustainability narrative exists alongside the trading reality. Both can be true simultaneously. This isn't about hypocrisy. It's about how modern economies function. This isn't a conspiracy. It's a system, largely legal, largely rational within its framework. Food is treated as a commodity, like oil, like copper, and like commodities, it gets traded, analyzed, positioned. The challenge isn't individuals breaking rules. The challenge is the system's rules themselves. The framework that allows a basic necessity to become a financial instrument. This isn't about Dutch people or Singaporeans or traders as villains. Put this system anywhere. It behaves according to its economic logic. When systems reward finding gaps between surplus and shortage, participants will seek those gaps. So what changes this? Regulation. Trading entities help shape regulations. Transparency. Trades happen in milliseconds across borders. Ethical platforms capture tiny market shares. Here's the difficult reality. As long as food can be traded as a financial instrument separate from consumption, these patterns continue. As long as systems reward profiting from supply-demand gaps, participants will seek them. The system isn't malfunctioning. It's operating as designed within its parameters to facilitate markets, not necessarily to optimize nutrition. And if you think influencing food prices is powerful, consider what's emerging. Because there's something even more fundamental than food: water. While Amsterdam trades wheat, Other markets are exploring water rights, virtual water concepts. While consumers worry about bread prices, systems are developing around water allocation. But that's another. The next time you buy bread, look at the price. That number wasn't decided by a farmer alone, wasn't decided by a baker alone, wasn't decided by weather alone. It was influenced by clicks in Amsterdam, by algorithms in Singapore, by systems that see food through multiple lenses: nutritional, commercial, financial. You're not just buying bread. You're participating in a global economic web. And within that web, different actors have different levels of influence. Everyone understands inflation. Almost no one understands who benefits from it. We don't live in a food shortage world. We live in a system where scarcity can be financially rewarding. If this changed how you see your food, share it with one person who should understand this. If it made you question systems, comment what stood out most. If you want to understand the emerging water dimension, subscribe and turn on notifications, because the systems that influence your food, they're evolving, and they're looking at resources even more fundamental than crops.